Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the NoRights Productions Podcast, also the NoRights Podcast, because it's a lot quicker that way. NRP is what we're calling it for this second. Anyway, I'm your host, Ben. Joining me, as usual, is my co-host and good buddy, Ian. How you doing, Ian?
I'm doing as good as can be on a Monday.
Don't turn into Eeyore over there. I'm good, I guess. Life's terrible. Sigh. Also joining us today is friend of the show, Nate. How you doing, Nate?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty.
I wrecked Eeyore's house.
Eeyore's little shack?
Yeah.
Man, that's sad, because Eeyore's shack is pretty bad already. It's all dilapidated. I'm just a sad donkey, they're nailing my tail to my butt. Oh, man. Oh, man. So anyway, yeah, it's a great way to start the show off. I hope everybody's having a good time, had a nice Thanksgiving, a nice weekend, right now it's cloudy and been kind of rainy. First day of December, so that's a great foreshadowing there, I guess. What do you guys think?
I think Ohio sucks in the winter.
Nah. I don't know, man. It's funny how, like, you can live in Ohio your entire life, and then as soon as it snows, people on the road forget how to drive. So, guys, we see ice and snow all the time.
Is it just me, or is it like, like heavy in the middle of the winter or whatever? They usually only have like warnings and stuff if there's like a crazy blizzard. But if at the beginning of the winter, you'll see like all these warnings and stuff if you only just get like an inch of snow or something, It's like people just freak out,
Yeah, they gotta get used to it. It's like, when I check Facebook, all my friends are like, oh, I'm already tired of all this cold and snow already. I'm like, guys, it's November. Wait till January. Then you'll be really, really tired of it. Because it ain't going nowhere.
March, you're just going crazy.
Oh, man. Because Ohio. Because remember, winter doesn't technically start until the 21st. So, enjoy it, kids.
Well, what I really personally hate is just like the really short days, man. It's crazy. Yeah,
it's easy to lose track of them, especially, like, I have the problem if I sleep in one day, or, like, I stay up late one night, it begets staying up later the next night, and then the next thing you know, it's like 6 in the morning, and you're like, it looks the exact same outside all the time. Which, I guess, like, what is it, parts of Canada and Alaska, they have, like, 6 months of one, 6 months of the other. Like, that's gotta be crazy, man. Like, the depression of having just straight night for months and then straight light, that's insane. I don't know. I mean, I got full spectrum bulbs in my studio, so it's like, when I'm down here working, it's like, oh, hey, it's the middle of the day. Then I look out my window and it's pitch black. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like 3 in the morning. Just sense of time, man. It's weird.
Yeah.
Plus, they don't get the vitamin D levels they need.
Nah. Well, I mean, there's that whole thing with, like, that jet lag room you can go to, where, like, if you get off a plane, you're all jet lagged from crossing the continents and stuff, you can, like, go to a special room with certain lights and, like, supposed to right you up, I guess. So, it's like, man, I don't know. Like, I heard Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, like, had a room like that built into their house because they fly the kids back and forth across the country so much that they're like, they need it, I guess. I don't know. Because I guess they're goodwill ambassadors all over the place.
I couldn't imagine paying for like 13 tickets.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they have somebody hired that does the buying of them. I'm sure they don't even think about it till they got to go somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine? That's a weird thing to me to consider as, like, the professional buyer and purchaser for you. It's like, I'd have to micromanage my own purchases because I'm the only guy doing it. But still, I'd be like, man, what are you doing? You're not booking me, like, first class, super prime. Like, last time I flew, they did the thing, like, we're boarding first-class passengers, and then they list, like, 4 different ones. Like, if you purchase this, I'm like, well, what's the point in purchasing different kinds of passes if they're all going to board at the same time? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
We didn't get a chance to ask you, though. What do you like the winter, Nate?
I like it when it has good packing snow and I can like play with it for like a week and then it goes away.
What was that thing that you saw online that was like, you could make like ice balls and snowballs and stuff?
Oh, you mean the snowball slingshot that I own that it's supposed to shoot them 60 miles an hour?
Oh yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, you could kill somebody with the ice
Yeah,
ball
I'm
going that
kind of
fast.
surprised it hasn't gotten banned.
Well, how old is it? You know, it's like, it hasn't gotten banned yet.
Yeah.
I always love when the kids play with the first generation of the toy and it's like really super powerful, and then it's like later on it all gets nerfed down, everything's cushy. Dunk. Wee. So anyway, did you guys have a nice Thanksgiving? We probably should have mentioned this on the last show, but that was a while ago. So, did you have a nice Thanksgiving, Ian and Nate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed being a carnivore, I guess. For that
What?
day.
You're turning into a robot, Ian, what?
I said I enjoyed being a carnivore for that day.
I think Google is upset. There shall be no talking of Thanksgiving on the first day of December. So says Google. So says the law. Yeah, we didn't actually eat on Thanksgiving at my house because my brother and his wife and whatnot were coming over on like the weekend. So on Thanksgiving, my mom and we just drove around to see what was open. Not much, apparently. There was a Chinese buffet that we ended up eating at. And we also
the
stopped.
Chinese buffet is always open.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, my dad likes to go there all the time, and they're not a bad place. It's just when you go to the same place a lot, you're like, I kind of want to go somewhere else now. Like that guy from The Office that always, what's that show? Where he always wanted to go to Blimpies. I can't remember. Tina Fey. I don't know.
30 Rock.
30 Rock? Is 30 Rock? Because I don't know. I'm confused because one of them's that one with the aliens, isn't it? And the other's.
That's Third Rock from the Sun.
Okay, yeah, I figured that was Third Rock from the Sun, but then 30 Rock, that sounds too close to Third Rock from the Sun in my brain. I don't know. I'm like, no, that can't be that. But it is. You know, they're at the 30 Rock Plaza or whatever it is. I don't know.
Yeah, with Tracy. They have Tracy Morgan on the cast.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really watched that much of it. I just thought I'd toss it out there because there's the Blimpie guy. But I think was he in that or was he on The Office? Yeah, another show I haven't really watched. I'm trying to buy cultural conversational tokens here, guys. I'm like, on this show that I really saw, right? It's got the thing.
I'm Tracy Morgan.
What all's been going on with Tracy Morgan since he had that limo accident and everything? I heard he might have brain damage of some kind. Might not be returning like to his career the way it was. Because he was supposed to be in some sort of like movie or something, and they were gonna hold on to find out what happened to him. But it's like, yeah, if he's in bad shape, man. Because I mean, I don't know. I heard he was diabetic and stuff, so he already had a lot of health concerns. You know. Just anything, but then you put in like a severe car accident, it's like, well, it might be time to retire. I don't know. Always struck me as a nice enough dude, though. So,
like when I like that. What was that one where he was playing a cop or whatever in that movie? He's like, I'm going on the cover.
Oh, Cop Out.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been partners for 9 years. Like, who needs to show you anything? We'll just tell you the setup. Cop Out. Yeah, I don't know, man. So, anyway.
Yeah, me and Nate, like the last time we were hanging out last week, we watched those couple cop movies. I guess we were in a cop mood. I guess we watched that 22 Jump Street, or the 21 Jump Street, and then we watched Let's Be Cops.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've heard some weird criticisms of Let's Be Cops.
You liked it, didn't you, Nate?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, maybe we'll watch tonight. We'll wrap up the 22 Jump Street.
Yeah, I don't know. I spent the last couple of nights like when it goes dark at like 4 in the afternoon, it's like, well, everything feels like it's 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and it's like should I go to bed? Well, it's like 7 o'clock. I don't want to do that. That's going to bed too early. And then you lose track of time, and suddenly it's like, oh, it's midnight. I probably should go to bed. But I'm doing something now, and I want to finish it. Like, I was watching that this YouTube channel, Crash Course, where they have a bunch of educational videos. Like, there's some with history, some with chemistry and biology. And I was watching the U.S. history one. And, you know, it starts, it's like, okay, the founding of the country, you know, and it's like, you got the Quakers, you got the Puritans, you got the Pilgrims, and all that stuff, and, like, I was like, I don't know if I should watch the whole thing. I saw, like, the ending videos are, like, they had one on Reagan, and then they had one on Clinton, Bush, and then the other Bush, and Obama, and I was like, well, I should try and watch. I was like, maybe I'll watch a few and skip. I ended up watching all of them straight through. And it was funny because, like, I normally resist the urge to read YouTube comments because usually they're at the bottom of the internet, but I scroll down to at least see the number of likes and dislikes, and on most of the videos they seem pretty neutral, but then when it came to the New Deal, all of a sudden people were like, oh, dislike, and then nothing for a while, and then when it came to Jimmy Carter, oh, dislike. Oh, yeah, I was like, come on, guys, really? You guys don't have anything better to do than to troll YouTube videos and comment on things that you say are biased when really they're not if you watch it at all.
Yeah.
I love it when, like, he's sitting there describing, you know, actual people that are socialist and, like, the Socialist Party, and, you know, the people in the comments are like, oh, this guy's a socialist and a fascist. It's like, you can't be both. Those are two very different ideologies. Oh man, it's great. Anyway, so that was my evening, staying up late watching that, and since it's been rainy, my body's been kind of like, oh, I'm kind of achy and sleepy, and I'm like, no, let's get back on a work schedule. No, I went to sleep at like 4:30 this morning. I'm tired. Come on, body, wake up, man.
Has your body turned into a weather vane?
I don't know. I've always thought my body thinks it's on, like, Californian time or something, because it's like, hey man, let's go to sleep real early. It's like I go to bed and I'm like, okay, I'll sleep for like, you know, a good 6 hours, then I'll get up and I'll lay there and I wake up and like, oh good, it's got to be like 6 hours later. It's been 1 hour. And then you can't fall back asleep. It's like, it's 11 p.m. Oh well.
Yeah.
So it goes, guys, so it goes.
Well, so what did you have for Thanksgiving then? Did you have some kind of fake turkey or something? Or?
No, they had real turkey for the people that wanted to eat it. And we also had baked beans, potato salad, stuffing. My brother's wife can't have gluten, so my mom tried to put together like a gluten-free alternative with some gluten-free breadcrumbs and some other fixings put together. And it's like, I'm sure she appreciated the effort, but it's like, that's all right. You know, I mean, it's the same thing if I go somewhere and they don't have veggie dogs. It's like, I'll just eat a lot of coleslaw. I'm fine. That's like, you don't need to go out of your way. It's okay.
You like the casserole or the green bean casserole and like the cranberry sauce and stuff?
My mom likes the cranberry sauce. I didn't have any actually. I just had mostly stuffing, potato salad, and the baked beans. Those were good. I didn't realize we had potatoes and carrots until my mom decided to toss them out today. I'm like, well, if I'd known this over there when we had the thing, because you have so many plates. It's like, I'm just gonna get a little bit of this. I have no idea what's in this pot. Like, is this your? No, this is the special one here for people who don't want to do this. And all right.
Yeah, but the thing that I'm sure it would sort of be tough for me to be a vegetarian, because it's like then if you don't eat like the meat or like the like the turkey or whatever, then it feels just like everything else you're just eating like a side dish or whatever. It's the meat makes a good like main part of the meal, where like it's like you could just eat that, and if you didn't have anything else, so you could be fine then.
Well, I mean, I can understand that. It's just like when I ate meat, though, I didn't really eat. Like, people are always like, oh, don't you miss steak or pork chops? It's like, no, I never liked those because it was always gristle and bone. It wasn't, You know, I always ate lean meats. Like I always used to have like the turkey slices and gravy, or like the popcorn shrimp at Long John Silver. So when I cut meat out of my diet, it wasn't, you know, that big of a change for me. I wasn't the big like main course of the meal kind of guy. I'm good, you know, without for most times. I mean, that's why like the veggie burgers and stuff. It's like I like them on occasion, just because if you're with people eating hamburger, it's kind of awkward to be having a salad. You know, it's like I don't know.
Well,
But anyway,
did they have like fake turkey that you could like
Tofurkey, yeah.
tofurkey?
there's tofurkey if you want. It's just I don't bother. My mom's, you know, fixing a whole bird, and she's got to figure out how to parse that out for the family. It's like I'm not gonna make her fix up a whole second thing for me. I'm fine with. I mean, like I said, I mostly just ate the potato salad at the beginning anyway. So I don't know, man. So I also watched the
pumpkin pie and stuff.
We had that. I didn't have any because I really haven't been eating that much lately. Like, last time I got a cold or something, I just really cut back. So it's like, even on Thanksgiving, it's like I had a plate and I went back for seconds a while later and I had a little bit. That was fine. Man, the cat really wants back on this show, can you tell? Right before we started recording, she was sitting in my lap just fine. I was petting her, and then she decides to just start gnawing on my hand, leaving little divots. And I lock her out, and now she's like, "Oh, hey, you forgot to let me in." Like, you think I'm stupid? Is that what this is? I don't know.
Oh, man,
also,
I doubt you could probably sue for it, but I remember earlier today I was at the store and I was about to pick up a case of green tea, and I went to go reach for it real quick, and then I cut my like knuckle on part of like, you know, like the metal bracket of the another shelf at the same time, and then it started bleeding.
Like that time you cut me with your backpack back at AIP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Have you heard this story, Nate?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, when we were at AIP, Ian was leading me towards either some room in the library or something like that, and I was following behind him, and he turns around, and something in his backpack sliced my finger, and it just starts bleeding, and I have to go to the bathroom, and I wrap a paper towel around it, and I come back, and he's digging through his backpack trying to find it, and he finds an X-Acto knife blade just sitting in there. It's like, oh, this is probably what it was. I'm like, I've got this big inch-long cut on my middle finger, gushing blood, and you just happen to have an X-Acto knife blade out. I mean, I don't know. I've got X-Acto knife blades now, but I keep them in the little container and then inside of another container, and I treat them like I'm, you know, an expert DNA tester. You know, it's like, nope, can't touch anything. Oh, keep it away.
Those X-Acto knife blades, like the ones that we use at school, where they're, you know, like you screw them onto like
just a holder.
Like those little, yeah, just like one of those little metal holders or whatever.
They're just a scalpel.
Like a pencil. Yeah, it's like a scalpel. Usually, like I'm just saying those are a lot easier to like lose or whatever than like the larger ones where you know, like you push the button and then you slide it up or down. You know.
You mean a box cutter?
Yeah, like the box cutters.
Yeah.
They call them X-Acto knife box cutters, or whatever.
I don't know, man. I mean, you need them for precise cutting, but it's like those things. Yeah. Anytime I have to remind someone of safety, I just show them my middle finger. Go, this right here happened to me because I got this nice long scar. Oh well. Also, we watched the OSU Michigan game. So, did you guys have fun? Watch that, or do you guys care? Or?
I wish I could have
personally,
sold
I think
tickets to it.
You sold tickets?
I wish.
Yeah. For me, I just think sports is just a distraction, but...
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed being in the marching band in high school and college, but it's like I remember driving through Columbus on game day when we had to go visit my brother, and like you'd have to wait through all the traffic of the thing, and it's like people are insane when they're, you know, it's their team, so it's like, yeah, the team, and it's like I I whatever. I mean, they're a good team and everything. I really don't particularly care much one way or the other. Although when they play Michigan, I do want them to beat Michigan. That's really about it. I don't know why. There's no reason. So,
Well, you'll have to forgive me for this rant, but it's like, I just think, like I said, it seems like sports is such a distraction, and it's like people get so passionate and worked up about it. It's like, man, what does sports really doesn't even? It's like, I'm sure it gives jobs to people and stuff, but it's like it doesn't seem like it's as, it's not that as good for society as something like math and science and like making inventions and stuff. It doesn't do as much as those types of things, I feel.
Well, it's a cultural thing, and it establishes the whole community aspect of like, here's our identity is we're part of this team and we follow this team, and even though we're not the guys making $23 million or whatever a game, or or whatever insane contract they have for a limited time, it's like we're not making that money, but we're following them because we identify with part of that. That's part of who we are. So.
Yeah, it's like tribalism almost, It's like it almost gets to be like a gang for some people. It's like I've heard of people like wearing like another team, and you go into a city and then you get in a fight, just walking down the street,
Well, I mean, there have been
gang colors.
There are, not just American football. Like if you go anywhere else in the world, soccer is pretty similar. If you're in the wrong town, you might get messed up, So. Sports, it's just a thing of identity. I mean, nerds can be the same way with, like, Star Wars and Star Trek fans. They're like, oh, see, we're fantasy, and you're just like a nerd cultural thing. No, man, it's not just morality plays. It's also a good introspection of the humanity and hope. It's like I'm the kind of guy that's like, I can see and appreciate the things in most stuff. It's like when we were talking about last week with that whole gaming thing with the drawing blood and stuff, like, that doesn't sound like it makes the game any more fun. It's like gambling on a game, it'd be one of those things where, like, gambling on a game is how you get your fun out of it. It's like, you only care if you have the risk of losing so much money, or like, it's like, it's not an actual physical, enhancing of your enjoyment. It's like the concept of it matters more to you at that point. And I don't know. It is funny though, whenever I see a hardcore gamer and they're like, they want to say that, like, oh, you're not doing it right, or you're not doing it, I'm like, you realize you're playing with a giant toy. It's an expensive toy. Because don't get me wrong, I play games. I love games. Games are fun. I've tried to make games a few times, but it's still a toy. And it's for amusement. So, it's like riffing on a kid for using his Hot Wheels the wrong way. It's like, back off, man. Like, I don't care how hardcore you want to be. You're still like the hard. It's like bragging about being the hardcore kid on the swing set. It's like, I'm sorry, man. I can't. I know in your crew you think you're the roughest, toughest guy, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's definitely games, sports. It really seems like it's just a distraction from the more important things in life. I really think you really do need to find your passion in life as far as like career-wise. I think it's better to find things that mentally stimulate your brain.
Well, I mean, some people they might use it to bond with their family members. Like, they and their dad always go to the games and talk about scores, or like like with baseball, like that Moneyball movie, there's some people that are just really good with numbers and figuring stuff out like that, and it's like, however you want to get your enjoyment out of life, man. I mean, fantasy, teams are a huge thing. It's like, man,
oh, those
I don't know.
That fantasy stuff is crazy, man.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, man, I don't know.
I just say it's like, I don't know, it's like, get to work.
Whatever, man.
Dedicate something to society, man. I don't know.
I don't know.
Relieve stress.
I mean, whatever works for you, as long as you're consenting adults, you don't hurt anybody. Because I mean, like, You know, I mean, I draw funny pictures, and Ian, you push around imaginary clay, and yeah, it's like it's all what you can get out of life, and find what you enjoy out of it, and get enjoyment out of it, and don't critique other people's enjoyment. Is what how I like to feel about it. It's like if somebody's not, if somebody doesn't want to sit and watch the game, that's cool, man. If they don't want to sit and listen to your 6-hour spiel about the problem with the new Star Wars, well, that's your thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, don't you think? Wouldn't you agree, at least though, that people should be more involved? Wouldn't you rather see a society with people more involved in mentally stimulating things and overall smarter people?
Well, I mean, my issues with society lately have been like that people don't really want to discuss with other people and have back and forth. A lot of people just want to enter the echo chamber of, no, this only agrees with my worldview. I don't have to listen to anything else. It doesn't matter which side of any spectrum or what. There's people that don't want to hear anybody else and will shout other people down, as we heard with the recent talk about the Gamergate and everything. So
yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts, Nate? I mean, me and Ben have been going back and forth on it.
On a mentally stimulating society?
Yeah.
Well, you could have everybody doing that, but then they'll die of stress. So, you just need to find a medium between the two of them. Not too much of one thing.
Well, you could find something that you really enjoy that's mentally stimulating.
That's also true.
That's why like I said, you need to really find what your purpose is in life, And if you do that, then it's not going to be stressful. You'll actually want to do it.
Well,
every day you'll you'll wake up just to do it,
Well, we've talked about it on the podcast a lot before, where it's like the Star Trek scenario of, if you didn't have to go to work to keep the world functioning, if you could go to work just because you like doing that thing you do and want to do the best at it you can, how many people in the world would really actually seek that out? And how many people would just sit in, the holodeck having, sex with the Marilyn Monroe or whatever again and again?
Mean Marilyn Monroe bot.
Yeah, the argument is the idealized in Star Trek is that, humanity has reached this point where everybody just wants to go and be the best they can be, and it's I don't know, that's very optimistic, but I don't know, it would take a lot of change in the human, the way we see the world, because there's a lot, I mean, I know there's a lot of people that want to be negative and say, the people that just want to be on the welfare, or there's, other variations of the same thing where people just be a waste, but it's some people, they're kind of just kicking around, and in life, they don't really have this is what I want to be and I want to do the best I can at it. It's I'm just, living, surviving, this is what it is. And I don't know, I think society-wise we'd have to kind of change the way, I think not only we'd have to change them, but we'd also have to change the way we approach them, and, try and encourage them and talk to those people and say, don't you have something that you'd be really happy doing? Because it's very easy for us to just blame them and say, whatever, they're a waste. It's well, we want to say that, and we can lock prisoners up, and we can just throw people away and put people in mental asylums and do a lot of things, just throw people away. It's maybe we should actually have a conversation to each other once in a while and listen to each other. So, I don't know.
I totally agree, and that's why I hate where I actually see a lot of views I make the mistake that you made earlier, actually going on reading YouTube comments and stuff, and it's a couple times I've actually seen people where they had the opinion of, old people are just the way, so we should just get rid of them,
Oh man, you'll see that on both sides. It's old people and young people, and it's hey, all of you, can we just come on, man? Because the thing is, you're never gonna stay young forever, and you're never gonna, and you're always everyone's gonna get older, and just because you're old, there's gonna always be people younger than you coming up. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, but
it's a circle of life.
Really, if you really want to get down deeper, I think, but you'll find that a lot of we really need to treat our kids you know, the best and give them the best options and opportunities, and, you know, try to do the best we can with them, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's all kinds of different theories about, you know, what makes a good kid and, you know, what's a good way to raise kids. And it's like, you know, you can promise your kids the world and then they just, you know, a big
Throw it
critique
all
of,
away.
well, a big argument of the millennial generation, or whatever you want to call the current young people out there, is that, you know, oh, they were all told they were special snowflakes, and now they think that the world's just guaranteed to them, and that they just, you know, it's handed to them, and they don't want to work for it. And it's like, I don't know how much of that is accurate. Like, that's because you get a lot of the older people that are very, you know, like, oh, hey, you're trying to take my Social Security, you're trying to take, you know, like, I had to work for mine. It's like, I don't know, man. Each generation has to deal with the older generation getting angry at them. You know, we got baby boomers, and you've got the people before them and people before, yeah. So
I especially really feel bad for, like, kids that don't have, like, a dad or don't have a mom, or actually don't even have either. You know, it really messes them up mentally when you don't have both parents, you know.
And then there's the kids that are raised by wolves. Oh! Anyway, so...
And
But
don't forget the kids raised by motorcycles.
Well, what about the kids that are raised by monarch butterflies? And then they want to take out the Venture brothers. Dr. Venture!
well,
Butterflies
what do
only
you
live
wanna
about
get?
6 months. What? I love that show. Anyway.
What did you want to get started on the news, since we're
Yes.
pretty much done half a show already?
Yeah, let's jump into the news, Ian. It's time for the news with Ian and Nate and me.
Yes.
Yes. The news with Ian, Nate, and Ben.
Yes.
Not trivia time, Ian. I still have some time before I have to whoop your butt at trivia.
I had to click manual playlist advanced, otherwise all the clips will start playing. Okay, this first one, Nate got a kick out of it, and I'm sure you will too. This one is about Ebola plush toys fly off the shelf for a Connecticut company.
Boy. Is the Ebola is the Ebola craze and fear and all that stuff? Is it over now? Is everyone done freaking out that they're gonna die of Ebola? Like,
We have a vaccine for it.
I don't know. I'd heard that was tested. I don't know if it's how well it's doing, but it's like,
Isn't it so cute though? It's got like the little eyes and stuff.
just looks like
So
a tapeworm.
fleshy.
I don't know. I mean, considering we had Halloween, we had the sexy Ebola nurse, you know, or whatever costume. I
Yeah.
don't know.
It says, Reuters, it may be the only line you will find these words in the same sentence. Ebola and add to wish list. Giant Microbes Inc., which makes a line of plush toys based on viruses and other microscopic organisms, has sold out its entire Ebola stock, including the small Ebola doll for $9.95, a giant Ebola doll for $29.95, and an Ebola petri dish toy for $14.95, according to the company's website.
Well, at least it sounds like they're just a company that does this kind of thing, and Ebola just happened to be one of the things, as opposed to like, hey, we're just going to make this really tacky toy about this pop culture thing, like when that guy made the Trayvon Martin targets, and you know, like this sounds like, okay, they have a chain of these, so I'm a little bit more okay with that, I guess.
It says, do you not want to get Ebola? warns the website a short incubation period of 2 to 21 days presages. What is that? Presages symptoms, which include fever, aches, sore throat, and weakness, followed by diarrhea, stomach pain, vomiting, and both internal and external bleeding, and then for between 50 to 90% of victims' death.
Do you think there's someone out there who collects like all these and then when they're done they're gonna be like, great, now I have all the diseases?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can be like Mr. Burns of The Simpsons. Immortality. Oh, Mr. Burns, even a slight breeze. Immortality. Yes. Oh,
It'd be funny if they had the shipping be like the 21 days. But like you don't get it until that amount of time.
Oh man. Oh no. I mean, I think I guess it's good for our local situation, or at least American situation, is that people aren't wigging out too much about it now. But other countries, people are still dying of it. So it's I don't know. I mean, there was a rap group somewhere in Africa that made that rap song about Ebola. So I don't know.
They made a rap about Ebola. That's
yeah, didn't you hear? Yeah, it's like Ebola, no touch, something like that. I don't know. I only heard very little of it because I thought it was kind of in poor taste at the time. So.
Yeah.
Well, like, why is it in poor taste now when it wasn't in poor taste like 10 years ago?
Well, because it's kind of a big national pandemic. It's like
Well,
it's
it was a pandemic 10 years ago.
Well, yeah, but I don't know.
Nobody cares until it comes to the U.S.
Well, I'm saying it's always been a concern. I don't know. I mean, has it been was it as big 10 years ago as it was like in previous, recently? I don't know. I don't know. So anyway,
it's crazy. I mean, it's been selling out. People have been buying it. So I mean.
Alright.
What you gonna do, man?
Well,
What you gonna do?
The thing is, like, this is an interesting little news story now, but imagine, like, 10 years from now, somebody's grandkid stumbles upon a package, like, what, Grandma, what's with this Ebola? Oh, yeah, your mom just thought it was cute, and whatever. Alright.
Yeah.
So next news story, I guess.
Yeah, this one is about U.S. Postal Service logging all mail for law enforcement. It says, Leslie James Pickering noticed something odd in his mail last September. A handwritten card apparently delivered by mistake with instructions for postal workers to pay special attention to the letters and packages sent to his home. Show all mail to Subviv supervisor for copying prior to going out on the street. Read the card. It included Mr. Pickering's name, address, and the type of mail that needed to be monitored. The word confidential was highlighted in green. Pretty much this article goes on to saying pretty much that basically they are doing the same thing as the other programs, collecting the information on the outside of your mail, the metadata, if you will, of names, addresses, network addresses, and postmark location, which gives the government a pretty good map of your contacts, even if they aren't reading the contents, he said. So, and a lot of people would be, it's just like with a lot of the NSA stuff, a lot of people would sort of be shocked at that,
Yeah. I mean, no offense, but I kind of figured, anything that's coming to you from someone else, some other place, figure somebody might be peeping over it. I mean, I don't know. It just reminds me of that cartoon I saw of like a woman freaking out, and there's this guy delivering a package, and he's got a giant his car says like Larry's Dildo-rama or something, and it's got a giant fake penis up on top of his van, and he's like, "No, lady, look, it's discreet packaging. It's discreet." So.
Yeah. So like, even if you wouldn't be so surprised even if you found out that they, like knew the contents of your mail.
Well, I imagine it gets X-rayed in a lot of places. I mean, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, because how else do you track the guy who's ordering, tons of fertilizer or whatever to make a bomb? It's like they like you can't ship, certain narcotics through the post office. They'll find it. So I imagine that they're observing that stuff anyway, so the fact that it's being logged doesn't exactly surprise me.
Right. Some people, I guess it would. I mean, I don't know. It would. I mean, I wouldn't be. I'm not as surprised either. It's what, I mean, like, just like the internet and stuff. I mean, pretty much, there's really not much privacy if you're using a service that's in the public,
So does that mean they're opening like the boxes to log it?
Well, I think they're just logging the information on the
basically everything.
Boxes.
I think it sounds like everything they can observe. So directions of where it's going, size, weight, what it sounds like, so that they can tell if like somebody's all of a sudden getting a whole bunch of large packages. It's like, that's interesting. So
yeah.
I don't know.
And I'm sure, like Ben said, if it's like big packages very frequently, it's probably you can easily X-ray that stuff. I mean, they make little portable X-ray guns, don't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends. Like, when you go to the airport, they do that wand over you to check for metal, and then, when we flew to North Carolina, I was, you go through the airport, you show up early because you don't want them to reschedule your flight and not know about it, and also you don't know how long you might get held up in security, but it was actually a lot easier this time because it's like you put all your stuff in the little thing, and then you step in and they just put a little whoop, and it goes around you. Like, put your hands up and just, zip, okay, now you're good. As before, it'd be like you had to walk through the thing, and then a guy's got to wand you, and, get too close to your stuff, and you're just like, oh, man. So it actually went by pretty quick this time. So, that's one of the least pleasant experiences in flying.
Yeah. It goes on to say, it's a treasure trove of information, said James J. Weddick, a former FBI agent who spent 34 years at the agency, and who said he used mail covers in a number of investigations, including one that led to the prosecution of several elected officials in California on corruption charges. Looking at just the mail, or looking at just the outside of the letters and other mail, I can see who you bank with, who you communicate with, all kinds of useful information that gives investigators leads that they can then follow up on a subpoena. But he said it can be easily abused because it's so easy to use, and you don't have to go through a judge to get the information. You just fill out a form. I mean, there you go. I mean, I just try to do these articles so you can make up your own decision on this. I mean, you can decide if it's something to be concerned about or it's not. But I mean, there's a lot of people that it can be polarizing, these types of issues, privacy and stuff. So
yeah, it's just after the passage of the Patriot Act, stuff like this doesn't surprise me. It surprises me that it takes people this long to realize, oh, hey, and they might be looking on the outside of my mailbox, all my letters, and seeing who I bank with. It's like, really? You didn't think about this in 2008, 2004? I don't know.
Right, well, I mean, unfortunately, it took somebody that's actually, like, who was working in the NSA, like the Edward Snowden or whatever. It took him just to make people even know about this stuff, you know, or even be thinking about it, I guess, you know.
Mm.
I mean, do you think we should? Do you think it's something to even care about or even think about at all?
Well, obviously, I think anytime the government looks into what people are doing, you have to make sure that it's stuff that's done legally and within the limits of the law and not being abused and targeted towards specific groups. But it doesn't surprise me because, I mean, even during, Watergate, after they investigated Watergate, they were like, oh, we realized that there's all these other crimes that other administrations have been doing as over abuses of power. Keeping enemy lists and tapping phones and all this kind of stuff, and it got all swept under the rug. So, it does. None of this stuff surprises me. It's just I think, it's just a good thing that people are paying more attention to it, I suppose.
Yeah, I definitely agree with this. I mean, like the phone tapping and stuff. That's on like the heavier side of it, I guess. This is sort of more like, like them collecting like Facebook information and stuff that's like already public that you don't have to breach anything to be able to get it. It's sort of like a like a mass collection of data, I guess. It's crazy, and when you get all that stuff, you can see a bigger picture with it. I guess that's the main thing, I guess they're arguing for,
Well, I mean, none of this stuff surprises me because, obviously the government's collecting huge databases on everybody because, they want to make sure if they find out that they think somebody might be, planning to become a terrorist, none of this stuff surprises me. It's just, all that surprises me is it's taken this long for people to really sit and go, hey, I kind of wonder if this is a thing. So.
Yeah. I just still can't. I think it's crazy though. Like, I mean, sure you could collect Facebook information and stuff that's already public. You can mass collect that. But I thought it was sort of crazy when remember I did that article about when Facebook was doing some kind of like
social experiment.
Yeah, they were doing like a social experiment on people or whatever.
Yeah.
I find that sort of crazy.
Yeah, I just think I mean, if they want to play around their audience, like, well, I guess they figure nobody's going anywhere, so they can do what they want with their audience. Makes sense because you see the people threatening to leave Facebook, and then 2 weeks later you check again. Oh, they're still on. They didn't delete their account. They came back because all their friends are on it. So.
Yeah, but didn't they get sued over that?
I don't know.
They had to pay a fine.
Oh yeah, like Facebook worries about having to pay a fine.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
That's the worst thing to ever happen to Facebook, man.
If Facebook is how many billions of dollars?
I'm sure they don't feel it, so.
Doesn't Facebook have like more money than Bill Gates?
I don't know. They're up there with like Google and other companies, as they got the money. Alright. What's our next news story, Ian?
Well, actually, before you do that, I'm sorry. Did you have any opinions on that, Nate?
Well, like, it's a federal offense to mess with mail, right?
Right. Well, for you to actually open up somebody else's mail, I've always been told that. So, like, when I was a kid and stuff, I would.
So how is like collecting information and like writing it down, not tampering with it?
Because it's all on the outside of the mail, and it's not a matter of changing anything on the mail. It's a matter of when it goes through the mail, the post office, they're like, okay, this package weighs so much, it's going to such and such address, and it's labeled with, this or that, like, oh, perishable, or do not do this or that. So it's all stuff that apparently they're within their legal, rights to do.
Yeah, that's not the issue.
Okay, so they're not opening up packages and x-raying.
No,
don't you need a warrant for something that's inside of a container?
Well, I'm not sure about I don't know about the x-ray part, but I know if you don't open it and you're just if you're a mail guy and you read the address and the to and from and stuff, you're not breaking any laws.
Well, that's on
It's
that
just-
for a reason. You know, they have to do it to send it back and forth. But
Back and forth, yeah.
But I mean, considering you have to fill out a form, I imagine that there's probably a thing where they, you know, like, okay, this is a suspicious package, or it's from a person who's under investigation. So therefore, I'm sure they've got a way to cover themselves if it goes to court.
And,
So.
I mean, he can use an X-ray or heck, a lot of envelopes. You could just hold it up to the light, you know.
Hmm.
You get like a light table if you wanted.
Well, people can always use UPS,
Yeah. What?
or they probably only have to fill out some forms for that too.
Right. It's just the issue wasn't that it's, you know, that people were breaking any laws or doing anything illegal. It's that it's more of a concern of, since they're able to do it so easily, and it's, you know, like automated, I guess, and you could do it at such a large level. The information that what people could do with all that information could scare somebody. You know, that's all the article's about.
Mm.
But anyways, we'll move on to the next article.
Yeah.
You guys can decide on that. These articles are for you, hopefully the audience, if hopefully we have an audience.
For you, the listeners and the viewers, the folks at home, the people in the seats.
Yes. Okay, this third article, which, yeah, did I link you to it?
Yes.
I think yeah, okay. This third article I found interesting. This one's about paintball tester wanted, must stand tall in the line of fire. So pretty much this is, you could get a job to be shot at by paintballs for pretty much $60,000 a year and working like 2 days a week. And the question is would you do it or not? And you'll have limited protection and armor, as the article says.
Hmm.
What about you, Ben?
That's a negativo there. I'm not a big fan of the human guinea pig department, but for people that want money, I'm sure they wouldn't mind. I mean, what's getting hit with a couple paintballs versus, doing medical experiments, selling your body to science in other ways.
Well, it says it's ideal for students and young adults who are looking to save money. But yeah,
I mean, I'm sure, like, the question is, like, how much damage can it do you? I mean, as long as it doesn't hit you in the eye or, break anything, I don't think it's going to be too bad. It's just going to be like on Jackass when they're like, okay, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and I'm... Yeah.
Yeah, well, it says the job advert also states that the successful applicant may also occasionally have to wear limited items of clothing whilst the paint bullets are being tested in order to research some worst case scenarios. That's in quotes.
Well, they want to see what happens when it hits you in the gonads, or what happens if you're not wearing the certain kind of armor that they recommend. So, yeah, if that's, what's that saying from Jackass? If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough.
Yeah. Actually, I said that wrong. It's the job has flexible working hours, around 1 to 2 hours a day. So. You can't beat that. I mean, it sounds like a really good job. It's just if you're willing to take the pain, I guess. You got to earn your lumps.
Well, I mean, people want to be stuntmen, so it's like, But I mean, to some extent, they're expecting you to get hurt. Like, when it comes to worst case scenarios, they're like, okay, you're gonna be in a thong, and we're gonna shoot you right in the dick, and we'll see what happens. So.
Yeah, Nate said he'd do it, didn't she?
As long as they had a face mask.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that you have a face mask. I don't think they would let you not wear it. But pretty much everywhere else on your body, I think, would be limited protection.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I might do it for like a couple weeks to see how bad it really is, I guess.
Oh, you get bruising.
I mean, if you did this for like a living as a career, heck, you'll probably end up, you'll after a while your skin will probably be so tough you'll probably look like a elephant or a rhino, you know.
I don't know, man. I mean, there are people that are, professional stunt car drivers, like, I heard about the guy that would jump the General Lee and, like, he had to get, like, plates in his back or whatever, and, like, parts of his spine are just compressed. It's like, well, yeah.
I do this for a little while, and then I take the money and invest it, and then I get out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, since you get so much, I mean, it'd be a good in and out type of thing, you know, like maybe like a summer job or something. Who knows?
Well, when you're young and can take the lumps, I say, I'm just, I'm too old for that stuff. So.
Oh, come on, dude. It's like we were talking with me and Nate were hanging out with this one kid. There's a kid that his dad is the like the maintenance guy here at our apartment, and he plays pretty good pool, so we're playing with him, and I called him kid, and Nate's like, he's not a kid, he's 16, and I was like, dude, we get called kids, man. Oh, you're dirty. You're just a kid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember reading an article not too long ago. I think it might have been in Sky Mall, where they were talking about Dimitri Martin and they're like, oh, he's such a young comic. He's only like 45. And I'm like, wait. Like, he's hip with the kids and everything, but I don't know. I mean, it's always weird when they talk about like musicians and their audience, and their audience is usually like 10 years younger. And it's like, oh, they're identifying with all these 16-year-olds, and meanwhile they're in their late 20s. It's like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't know if when I'm in my late 20s, I don't know if I want my audience to be that much younger than me. Actually, did you see that OkCupid poll where they said that like women, when they tested to see where they line up, like what they think of the attractiveness of another man, of a man, they're like, oh, they like to find men around their own age. So like if they're like 34, they'll find a 40-year-old man attractive or whatever. And men, it was pretty much, no, they all just want to see 21-year-olds. The line was very much like, oh, you're a 60-year-old man, what do you find attractive? 21-year-old women. So, I don't know, that's an interesting, I don't know, man. It's an interesting dynamic.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Anyways, moving on to the fourth article here. This one's about, you might find it interesting, Ben. This one's about hack at Sony Pictures shuts computer system. And I'm sure you meant to say down for the title, but this is from CG Talk Forum. This one's has quotes, Sony Pictures Entertainment suffered a widespread hack that rendered the film studio's computer systems useless in a twist right out of a cybersecurity thriller movie. Employees of the Culver City-based studio who tried to log onto their work computers Monday were greeted with an ominous warning. An image of a sneering red skeleton appeared on the screen under hacked by #GOP, reportedly short for Guardians of Peace, and a list of threats.
Yeah,
the system went dark.
Yeah, somebody should tell them that name's already kind of taken. If you go by the GOP.
Yeah. It also says at the bottom, he also mentions the unidentified hackers who reportedly crippled operations at Sony Pictures last week have made good on their threat to release files stolen from the studio servers, leaking a handful of new movies, some of which haven't even come out in theaters yet, to file sharing sites.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sucks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
that sucks.
Well, I personally don't really want to see an early cut of a movie with insert effects here or it. And it's like the studios are it's gonna piss the studios off to see this kind of stuff. People stealing crap and hacking the systems. Because, yeah.
But
I don't know.
I mean, it would suck, I mean, to have your stuff stolen, though, like, after all the hard work, you know? I mean, I've seen, like, at the beginning of some movies, or sometimes at the end of them, they'll say that this movie took, like, so many thousands of man-hours and so many people to make the movie, you know?
Well, I mean, if somebody leaks an early cut of the movie and they're like, oh, that movie looks like crap, I don't want to see it, and it's like, well, yeah, it looks like crap because it wasn't done and it was stolen, and now now nobody's going to see it, and the studio is going to lose their money that they put into it. And what if it's a really good movie? It's just there were like $30 million worth of digital effects to be added. You know, it's like, I don't like that. That's kind of a dickish move. So
Unless if it's like that Expendables 3 leak that got leaked, then it was pretty much done.
well, I mean, even then, it's like it's I don't know. It comes out when it should come out, and it's I don't know. Give it a chance to actually go in theaters.
Yeah. But usually it's, you know, they're hacked like this was, or, you know, like somebody inside the studio, like
somebody got a screener, or, you know. But I mean, I don't know. It's just I think that like the problem with that is studios have been very wary about sharing, you know, moving stuff towards the internet, and you know moving things, you know, away from the traditional. No, you have to go to the theater to see it and wait till it comes, you know, a year later till it comes out on DVD. And it's like if people are gonna break in and steal the stuff, it's like, well, that's not gonna help the studios not be nervous about it. It's only gonna cause them to go, well, obviously we gotta put more DRM stuff on it. It's like, no, man, come on.
Yeah.
We don't need that. We don't need to do that.
Yeah. No, you don't. But what do you think about that, Nate? Is that pretty crazy?
Yeah, it's like the Grand Theft Auto game for computer. We've had to wait like a year for it to come out on PC because one guy stole it, and a day early.
Right. Yeah, I didn't know about that. That's crazy.
He wanted it a day early.
This is why we can't have nice things.
It's things.
I don't know, man. It's crazy. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of, you know, like what they call white hackers that actually try to do good things with their abilities, but you know, when you have people that just try to, I mean, that's like really stealing stuff, you know, on like online, you know, like files and stuff. That's where you're actually hacking into people's stuff and messing up their systems and just generally effing with them, you know.
Yeah, that's how some people are, man. I mean, if you ever saw the movie Indie Game, the movie where they talked to the guys at Team Meat, and one guy was like, "Oh, hey, your website for, you know, people making their own levels and uploading to this website, it's not very secure." And the guy's like, "Yeah, I know about it. That's fine, man. I don't have time to be fiddling with it." And he's like, "Oh yeah." And then the guy went and hacked the site, and he's like, "Oh, stupid programmer, ha." He's like, "All right, fine, then I'm locking it. Nobody can ever upload their own level they've made up to the site again." So
yeah,
that's thanks.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna add to it. It is sort of like a burden on like everybody too. It's like the bad kid that does something bad in class, and now the whole class has to do extra homework. It's like now we have to go through all these crazy captions that you really can't read. A human can't even barely read, and then you have to go through all these other steps, and you can't see images if you're not registered to a forum. A lot of times it's crazy, you know.
That's why we can't have nice things, Ian.
Nope. It just generally makes it bad for us. So bad hackers, just bad. No.
Rub your nose in it. Okay, so what's the next news story, Ian?
Okay, this one's about Autodesk offers design software to schools everywhere free of charge. So
Woo!
I thought you might find this interesting. Earlier this year, Autodesk gave middle and high school students in the U.S. its software suite as part of President Obama's Connect Ed project. As of today, though, the design-minded outfit is offering its wares like AutoCAD and Fusion 360 for education use worldwide. The company says this will afford 680 million students the ability to tap into its apps both in classrooms and at home. As you might expect, project ideas and teaching resources are available as well. If you're looking to opt in, you'll need to request access, and you can do this by clicking on the link down there. And on the side link here too, Autodesk is making a 3D printer to showcase its new software platform. So I found that was interesting too.
Maybe that's why they released it.
Yeah, maybe. What are your thoughts?
I'm always in favor of sharing software with educational versions, because that way, because when you and I were in school and they were like, okay, so you need to get a hold of 3D Studio Max if you wanted to, if we're going to be in a class for that, you need to get copies of Photoshop, Flash. It's like, where do they expect students to get versions? I mean, even student copies are like, it's insane. And it's like, why would you expect a student kid to invest money if they're not going to, be able to use, if they still have to upgrade it after leaving school? It's like, well, give them a free version to learn on, and then when they decide to open up a studio, let them decide, well, this is what I learned in school with, so I'm going to buy it. It's like, that's just good business planning, if you ask me.
Well, they expected you to manage your time that's available in the computer labs, which was next to nothing.
Yeah, well, I mean, well, that's the thing. It's like, when we were when I was in school, it's like, you can be in the computer labs, but then if it's like, as long as the school stays open, and would I rather be spending my time on my personal computer just a few feet from my bed, so that when it's 3 in the morning and I'm finishing a project, then I can go collapse, as opposed to being in the computer lab and then having to walk home in the dark? I don't know.
Oh, but they say, oh, you should have managed your time better, so you could have finished earlier when the school was still open.
Well, I mean, that's another thing, is like that kind of argument, like, elementary schools now have issues where the homework is literally too big to where parents help their kids with homework, and they're like, these kids are in 2nd grade, and I stay up at night to try and help them with the homework for like 4 hours, and we still can't finish it all. That's too much homework. It's like, what do they need? Why do they need that much homework? They don't. It was the same with reading in college and high school. It's like, I can understand, if you're reading a book in an English class, but a lot of the times it was like the class, they would assign you a book, and then you'd go to the class, and you wouldn't ever be tested on it. They just expect you to read it, and occasionally you go in and they just give you a lecture based on it. So it's like, I could spend all these hours in between classes reading the assignment, or I could spend it working on my projects. Tough decision. Only so many hours in the day, man.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Nate?
About too much homework?
Oh, well, you could do both the article and that.
Whatever you have thoughts on, man.
I think that they definitely have too much homework. I know in other countries, they have students come in on Saturday, but like for a half day. And then like some vacations like a month long, whereas it's 4 months here.
Yeah. I actually put this article on my on the CG Talk too for the news, because that was just released in the news, so I put it on there. I didn't see any other articles, so decided to post it. It's already got a couple of views. I just posted it right before the show.
Yeah.
The one thing I am sick of though is like renting like Photoshop and all these other programs. Like you can't even own it anymore.
Oh, so you want to get us started in that rant, huh?
Yeah, the whole subscription system, like, in my opinion, if you want to keep people on a subscription basis, it better be a low enough subscription that it's not going to matter, and you better be adding, it better, like if you have a subscription to a video game server, that's, I can understand that if they keep adding content to the game, but it's like, okay, you bought a program, okay, well, yeah, and now you have to have a subscription to use it. And what happens if the subscription runs out? Then you can't use it again. It's like my software didn't stop existing. They decided to stop licensing it at that point, which is just there's no added value to the consumer at that point.
It's why people steal software.
Oh, but you get a new brush in this version.
I mean, I'm not against subscriptions as long as the people that are making it make it thing. Like, I mean, when you realize how much stuff doesn't have to rely on subscription based and has a huge following. Like, look at Minecraft. You buy that game, you own it, and you get constantly they keep adding stuff to it, and you keep getting stuff, and it's already paid for. What happens? If all of a sudden they had to subscribe, it at least makes sense. But it's like, if there's a game that one release of it comes out, maybe a patch, and then maybe some DLC down the road, and they expect you to pay a monthly fee, and it's like, that's a game. That's something you go to, to just play on the off hours, and they can spend time devoting to it. But it's like, if it's something you work at, like Photoshop, that's a real dick move to just charge you to be able to use the software you have. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, man. Especially when you pay like the same. If you could buy it, it would be half the price of what you're paying to subscribe to it. That's the ridiculous part.
Yeah, I would say really the triad of problems with. Like in our digital age now, it seems like they're roaring their ugly heads. Is first the actual ownership of those zeros and ones, the subscription things, like you having to pay like yearly or whatever, and then also the micropayments thing is getting pretty nasty too.
Oh, have you forgotten about ads, Ian? Oh, we'll give you a free service, but we'll insert an ad every 5 seconds. This is your ad reminding you, hey, you should pay for the subscription service. Hey, this is your ad reminding you that, hey, this service is a lot better if you pay to shut me up. I've literally heard ads where they say goodbye to me in the ads. I'm like, really? Your whole thing is that you're going to annoy me until I pay to shut you up. That doesn't entice me to pay for your service. That entices me to find a competitor. That doesn't do that. So.
Yeah. What do you think about that though, Nate? Like where it's going to where like you really don't own anything and you're just like leasing the software for your lifetime.
I can't stand that. Like,
where like
why would you even use the software in the first place? It's like that's why people steal it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people get in trouble for selling. Like Autodesk has gone on after people that tried to, like sell the software. They don't want to use it anymore. They deactivate their license, and then they sell it, but then they still get in trouble.
I mean, the thing is, like, the idea of subscriptions is, like, I could understand if it saved the consumer, or if it was, like, so simple that you're like, oh, of course, that it's like, you do it to activate it, and you get all kinds of stuff for, like, $5 or whatever. There's all these, that's my problem with the Adobe thing, is they're like, oh, you subscribe and you pay so much a month. It's like, well, yeah, but then why wouldn't I just pay the $95 or whatever it is to get Manga Studio and never have to use Photoshop again? Or how about any, Sketchbook Pro or any of the other competitors? What does, Creative Cloud really offer other than doubling their, Adobe's income over the year? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, people like me and you who are freelancers, the small guy, is really going to suffer because of this. Because, I mean, they're still going to get their money from the huge companies that can afford that,
Well, I mean, I get the idea that they say, like, if you pay a license, you can use as many softwares as you want from it, but it's like, most people are just going to use Photoshop and one or two other programs. It's like, you're not going to get, you know, you're not going to, you'd have to use literally, like, everything in the suite that month to justify that, you know, that's charging you more than if you had just bought, you know, Creative Suite Web or Creative, you know, whatever. I don't know.
Well, it's like for me, I don't know about you guys, but like, you know, my cable bill is like over $100 for my internet and TV, and it's like even that can strap me for cash, you know, for the rest for a couple weeks, you know.
Cable TV. There's another thing that's just charging for less and less return.
Yeah, I totally agree. I keep trying to yell at myself to get rid of it, but it's just like it's convenient for when, you know, I don't have things on the computer or whatever, you know.
Well, we've bumped down to the basics here, and I think they're starting to realize a lot of people are just going, hey, if I can get this stuff on the web, why am I paying them for a whole, you know, for these shows I'm not wearing interior design program and designing the house program and, you know, some daytime TV stuff that nobody watches, you know. Why pay for stuff you're not going to ever watch? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. What do you have, Nate? You don't have cable, do you?
I have cable, but I'm not paying for it.
Excuse me, we'd like to take you to the back room and talk to you about that. Bum ba-dum.
Yeah.
Bum ba-dum ba-dum. Bum ba-dum.
They never disconnected it.
Oh, yeah. I remember you saying something about that. They never disconnected it from the last person or whatever.
Well, let's hope they don't find out about
lucky, man.
it. Alright.
Well, it was the cable guy who told me I had it. I didn't know I had it.
It was Jim Carrey? Oh my gosh, look out, that guy's crazy.
Yeah, does he want to be your friend? Is he getting sort of needy?
No.
Did he buy you a prostitute? They saying,
No.
do you want somebody to love?
You need somebody to love. Oh man, I just watched, speaking of Jack Black, man, I just watched that,
Jack Black?
that King Kong movie, Jack Black. Well, he was in the movie, you know, he was his friend or whatever on there.
Okay.
Remember the friend that told him about, he's like, oh dude, this cable guy, he was arrested before or whatever, you know.
I don't remember anything other than the Jim Carrey in that, because that was the rise of Jim Carrey, and Jack Black wasn't on my radar till a little bit after that.
Yeah, he was a friend, the guy with the long hair in the movie.
He was also in Neverending Story 3, which is weird.
Oh, I remember that. That was horrible.
But I just watched that King Kong movie back from 2005. I never saw it. It was pretty interesting.
I liked it. I mean, you know, I thought, you know, a lot of it is like, man, this is, you know, he's a big King Kong fan. So a lot of these effects are really great and loyal. And then some of them, a couple of green screen shots, I'm like, it's a little shady. That's like they're kind of just wobbling in front of a green screen while stuff goes on behind them. It does not. But what do you want? It's a big, long film.
Yeah, I think isn't it longer than The Lord of the Rings? Like one of the movies, it's like almost 3.5 hours.
I don't know, man. I mean, but then again, it's modeled after the original King Kong movie, which is also quite a watch if you try and sit through it, which I recommend people do because it's a good film. You watch that in a big screen in a dark room at night, man. It's like, well, we're going on an adventure. Like halfway through that movie, when they get back to New York, I just want them to walk away from Kong and go, okay, now we're just going to walk up and down the street and show you 1930s New York, because it's weird, because it's a place that doesn't exist anymore. You know, at least not that way.
It was pretty interesting seeing like them, you know, doing like making everything to be the era, you know, set design and stuff. But it took me 2 days to watch it because it's like I was watching it halfway through and then I was like, dude, I gotta get to bed, and then I watched it the rest the next day.
Yeah, I think we watched it in the Dollar Theater when it came out. So, yeah, it was a fun time though. And I've got the original Kong on DVD, that's a fun time. If you haven't seen the original Kong, I recommend seeing it.
I'll have to check it out. My only complaint with it was how did they get after they shot the spears at the King Kong when they were trying to get away, and then they did the cyanide or whatever, the chloroform, I forget what it was. They knocked them out. How did they drag him on the boat and transport him, man?
They dragged him onto a boat and chained him up. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, they allude to it because it's like, we'll get back and it'll be great. And then crossfade too, because you can imagine 6 hours later, heave. So, yeah. Actually, I've heard that was there a sequel to King Kong? I think there was, or at least, like, I heard it picks up like after the fact. Like, I think it's Son of Kong is what it was. And I've heard good things about that one, so I need to check that one out myself.
Well, there's so many different adaptations throughout the past century. It's like just like with the Planet of the Apes. I watched those 2 last movies, and I had to actually look through the movies and see like which ones were the newer ones and which ones were the older fashioned ones.
Well, I told you I sat down one weekend or whatever, and I decided I'm going to watch the original Planet of the Apes movies and decide when exactly they turned to poo. And it didn't take me long. Because the first one's brilliant, and the second one's also pretty good because it's basically the first one again. But then the third one is, the apes go back in time and it's a fish out of water story until the very end when it's this sad political story. I'm like, this is stupid. This is. Then the other one's actually pretty good, but the budget was every one of those sequels cost like half of what the previous one did. So. By the one where they've got an army of apes, they all just look like dudes in suits, and it's like you can tell that guy doesn't have a mask. A couple of the close-up actors are trying to act like apes and hunch over, but some of the people are just like walking around, whatever. Oh man.
Right. Well.
All right.
Yeah. What did you think about those? Did you see any of those movies, Nate?
I've seen the first Planet of the Apes and the second one of the originals.
I didn't see any of the originals. I saw the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and I saw the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes that came out this year.
You maniacs! You blew it up!
You blew it!
It's just a lot of the stuff that happens in those movies, it's so coincidental that they would happen to send a guy after the lost astronauts. Like, that wouldn't happen. If we lost an astronaut in space, like, man, he was brave, but we're totally not just sending another dude out into nowhere to look for him, and he happens to land right there. And then the third one, it's like, they blew up the Earth, but they got sent back in time. Like, what? Well, you know what happened with the ending to the second Planet of the Apes, right? Charlton Heston intentionally wanted to blow up he would only do it if he could end it by blowing up the world, because he didn't want to do any more sequels. But they made them.
Do you like watching older adaptations, Nate? Like black and whites and stuff?
Sometimes. Other times, no.
Do you ever watch any like B-movie black and whites? You ever see those? Either of you guys?
Yeah, it depends on the film. I mean, I like to watch a lot of old silent movies and classic cinema, so sometimes, though, you pull something up and go, wow, this is a cultural thing that there's a lot to object to over here, and wow, the treatment of women here. So, yeah.
Silent movies, man. It's like, yeah, you got a voice for the silent movies, and you got a face for radio.
Alright, so anyway, Ian wants to introduce a new segment he's doing for the show. Why don't you tell us all about it, Ian?
Okay, well, yeah. So this, I figured I'm not gonna do this mini series for the show like all in a row. You know, I'll just do it randomly, like one week if if I feel like doing it, or and if Ben doesn't have a topic that he's really wanting to do. You know, he's like, no, we must do this topic today. We won't do it. You know, but I don't know the name of it yet. Maybe me and Ben will come up with a name, but I just figure I call it like the magnitude series. It's pretty much just like, you know, each episode we'll talk about like a different subject of like different magnitudes of a particular thing, like the amount of space, like hard drive space, like data space, you know, like gigabytes and terabytes and megabytes of data.
How many Keurigs are in a turd?
Yeah. I just find it interesting. It's more of a nerdy, geeky type thing, but you know, like there'll be like a lot of useless facts and things like. Did you know that the Library of Congress takes up this many petabytes of storage space?
All right, well, talk nerdy to us, Ian.
Well, this week I figured we do magnitudes of computing, and I'll give Ben the. I don't know if you want all these links in the chat or if you want
Sure.
in an email. But this one is about computing performance by orders of magnitude, and a lot of these will be wiki because it's just convenient and they have it nicely categorized, you know. Okay, so let me find my other link here. This one's let's see.
Doobie doobie doo.
First of all, before we discuss this, do you know the different things with numbers as far as like the amount of number? You know what kilo means, right? And mega, don't you?
For some things, yeah.
Yeah. Actually, this wasn't the one. Well, kilo, like, you know, like a kilogram, that means 1,000. Or a kilobyte means 1,000 bytes.
And I would walk 1 kilobyte, or then I would bite one. I don't know.
Okay, so going down the list, there's kilo means 1,000, mega means 1,000,000, and then giga is 1,000,000,000, tera is 1,000,000,000,000. So on, it goes all the way around the peta, hexa, then zeta, then iota. And the reason I'm giving you these numbers because you can see like the amount of zeros it takes up. So this is pretty much. So this is. So a yottabyte is like 10 to the 24th power. Do you know how to do that? Where, like, if you do 10 to the 24th power, that's you just add 24 zeros to a 1, and that gives you that. So like if it's just 10 to the first power, it's just 10, and then 10 to the second power is 100. So you just go about how many, you add how many zeros to a 1 by what the power is, in other words. So like 1,000 would be 10 to the third power. So the reason I'm giving you this information when I'm talking about computing is so you know what I'm talking about. So like megahertz and gigahertz and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Okay. So this one is there's active scale computing, which was like really far back in the day. That was like 1,000 hertz or 100 hertz, which is like, I don't know. That's probably like less than a calculator, I think, as far as how powerful it is. What's the oldest computer that you remember having then? are you using?
Me, well, I used old Apple. I don't know what models they were, but the ones they put out to the schools, they had I don't. It was a not the Macintosh, but they might have been a bunch of leases. Not definitely not Apple IIs, I don't think, unless that was a commercial thing outside of, I don't know. But yeah, that's the oldest ones I've used. The old Apples.
What about you, Nate?
Some computer from like the 1980s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you had to
don't
type
remember?
in all the code in yourself.
Do you remember? Was it like an Intel or was it a IBM or whatever?
I think it was an IBM.
Yeah. I don't know. Some people are so nerdy they remember like the model numbers and stuff.
Oh, it wasn't mine. The oldest computer I ever owned was like 1995.
Yeah. Yes. So, but on the hectoscale computing, which is 100 hertz, is the IBM 602 1946 computer. So it was 200 hertz. A 200 hertz computer was back then. And then as far as kiloscale, it looks like they had a 9 kilohertz computer that was or it was a CPU chip. I'm sorry, that was available in 1971. Then they had a Colossus computer vacuum tube supercomputer back in 1943, which was about 5 kilohertz, which is crazy. Then you go on to mega scale computing. They had a Motorola 68,000 commercial computing back in 1979. An IBM's 7030 stretched vacuum tube. So, and then you get into the gigascale, which is, like,
Gigabyte.
I'm sorry, megabyte. I was talking about before. So the vacuum tube supercomputer back in 1961, that was mega scale. I do remember having some kind of like Pentium 4 that was like a couple hundred or a few hundred megahertz. What was the slowest speed that you remember using, Ben?
Well, I mean, I don't remember what the speeds were on the old computers. My own personal computers, I had a Macintosh Performa, and it only had megs of RAM, so I don't know.
So you actually had megs of RAM. That's
well,
crazy.
Well, the commercial there was a bit where the grandpa met a woman on the internet, and then she went to visit, and she was like, "How many megs of RAM, Carmine?" And he says, 8. "Oh, I knew you were a power player." And I'm like, whoa, I don't know how I feel about this commercial. Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, as far as on the gigascale, for the gigahertz, they had an ILL-IAC 4 back in 1972, which was a supercomputer that was for computational fluid dynamics. And then they had an Intel Pentium 3 commercial computing back in 1999. And then above that is terascale computing. So I guess you're going to get into the terahertz computers, which are more or less supercomputers. Although I do have the link for. Where's it? It's for the. It's for a teraflops research chip. So it's pretty much like a terahertz computer chip. And I don't know, did I give you the link for the original thing?
No, you haven't given me any of those links. I think you should probably just email it, Ian.
You want me to just email it to you? Okay,
Yeah,
that's fair.
sounds like you got a lot to keep straight.
Okay, the teraflops research chip, also called Polaris, is a research processor containing 80 cores developed by Intel Corporation's Terascale Computing Research Program. The processor processor was officially announced February 11, 2007, and shown working at the 2007 International Solid State Circus Conference. Features of the processor include dual floating point engines, sleeping core technology, self-correction, fixed function curves, and three-dimensional memory stack. If that means anything to you.
Don't know what it is, but I want it. That was just Jessica Simpson talking about 1080i. Oh man.
Yeah. And then there's 1.344 terahertz computer, which is talking about GPUs, which are different, I guess. There's the GeForce GTX 480, and there was the Radeon HD 5970. And then there was, it says 100 times 10 to the 12th, which is pretty crazy. They said that that's estimated paralyzed throughput of the human brain. So yeah, later we'll talk about it. I thought it was interesting because I watched a couple videos on talking about like trying to do like artificial intelligence and like consciousness and stuff. And there was a guy that was saying that it would pretty much, in order to have like consciousness, to be able to have that artificially made or whatever, it'd be like 10 to the 27th. Like operations per second you'd have to do, so that'd be like above like a Yoda Hertz pretty much computer, which is, you know, far past what any kind of supercomputer can do nowadays, you know.
I'm sure in 30 years you'll be able to get one at Walmart.
Yeah. Well, it says that in the there's actually petascale computing, which is what a lot of supercomputers are doing now. The IBM Roadrunner back in 2009 supercomputer was 1.026 times 10 to the 15, so I'm guessing that's like a little bit over a petahertz. There's the fastest computer system as of 2012 was the folding at-home distributed computing system. There was an IBM Sequoia circa 2011, which was 20 times 10 to the 15. If the numbers mean anything to you, so I'm guessing that's like 20 petahertz. There's Tier A2's Lin Pack Performance, which was June of last year, and then yeah, so there's those computers. There's I had a link here for, there was like something that broke the record. There was, oh well. But yeah, I have links here as far as about like what the flops are when you're talking about flops. Do you know what those are, Ben? Flops.
We've talked about it before, I just can't remember off the top of my head.
That means floating point operations, something like that. Operations per second.
Oh, it's those sandals that go in between your toes and go floop, 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 floop.
Yeah. Flops is floating point operations per second, yeah. That's that. I guess they just initialized the FL in the floating point for it. But, really quickly going on, it says exascale computing. 1 times 10 to the 18th is estimated that the need for exascale computing will become pressing around 2018. And then zetascale, which is 1,000 of those, is what would take 1 times 10 to the 21st power accurate global weather estimation on a scale of approximately 2 weeks. Assuming Moore's law remains constant, such systems may be feasible around 2030. So Do you know what Moore's Law is, Ben?
Yeah, that's the one that every 10 years or so the computer capacity of processing doubles.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Although, like I was talking about before, I think it was last week, it really doesn't seem like it because it's just like, I mean, 10 years ago we had like 3 gigahertz computer and we're barely like above 4 now, you know?
Well, I mean, I'm sure it doesn't have to do with the hertz. I'm sure it has to do with different measurements of processing. So,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I'm sure you're right, like with the cores and stuff, but it still, to a certain degree, doesn't seem like it's like a whole lot faster, you know? It doesn't seem like we're able to do something double that we were last year, you know?
until you go onto a 10-year-old computer and try to watch YouTube and you go, no, why? Why is it getting so hot? Oh no, it's making noises and blinking at me. Oh no, I killed it. And you're like Charlie Brown with the little Christmas tree. Wasn't a bad little computer. Just didn't have enough RAM. Just didn't have enough.
Well, the problem too is it seems like a lot of software is just because we have, you know, like the technology to do a lot more. They decide to like jam pack like every little piece of software and make like bloatware where it's like it takes, you know, like Microsoft Word, they have like a startup screen that's, you know, sometimes it takes just as long as Photoshop, you know. They add all these extra features and you want to do animations here and there, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, dude, this is a word processor, you know. I mean, like you even complain about Photoshop just for basic things is taking up like gigs of space, you know, of memory in your Chrome and stuff.
Yeah, it's computers, man.
I mean, when it wasn't doing that, like back in the day, and it only took up like a handful of megahertz. Are you really able to do? Are you doing like a lot more besides just watching videos? You know.
Well, I mean, you know, with Chrome just being, you know, sitting there after a while, it just starts eating stuff, you know. And, I mean, the thing they have to optimize every operating system and every program when it got is you have to deal with memory loss. That the longer a program stays open, it just starts eating memory. So, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I have a link for Moore's Law, artificial intelligence, artificial consciousness. They have a thing about the quantum mind and mind uploading, which I think is interesting. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on having a consciousness on the computer and trying to compute that?
Well, are we saying like I want to have a virtual double, so I want to make Clue like in Tron, or are we talking about like when you die, you want to have your consciousness uploaded because, you know, there's the argument that it's like it's a recording of what all your thoughts and everything you had in your mind, but it won't have your, you know, feelings or, you know, compassion and whatnot. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so there's the Human Brain Project. The Human Brain Project is a large 10-year scientific research project established in 2013, directed by École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne, and largely funded by the European Union, which aims to simulate the complete human brain on supercomputers to better understand how it functions.
Yeah, I remember reading about that.
Yeah. But there is a difference between artificial consciousness and, I guess, artificial intelligence. So, like, artificial intelligence, you being able to, like, you know, like, you simulating having, like, a conversation and, like, stuff, I guess, and it being able to do stuff. Whereas the consciousness is more of like a awareness of yourself, you know.
Well, I mean, AI is very simple. You can have that on an old video game where if you come near the enemy, they will come at you. That's as simple as it can get. Versus, a virtual consciousness, it would be like, so, what are your thoughts on the weather? I think this and that, and these other thoughts, and
Yeah. We have a link for that on the wiki. Artificial consciousness, AC, also known as machine consciousness or synthetic consciousness, is a field related to artificial intelligence and cognitive robotics, which aims to define that which would have to be synthesized, where consciousness to be found in an engineered artifact. So, a lot of people believe that it's consciousness is like an emergence of, like complexity and, like so many neurons and, like so many interactions with those neurons. What do you think about consciousness? Do you think? I mean, because some people think it couldn't be computed. Some people think you don't even need a brain to do it.
Well, I mean, there's a line that I think with artificial intelligence can become very, elaborate and very refined to where it can trick you into thinking it's thinking. Just like, a good poker player doesn't have to actually play well. He has to play you against yourself. So if you're building a robot with a complex and intricate AI, it's designed to go, oh, you look like you're doing this. Are you getting hungry? Or this or that. You don't have to make it sit and have a virtual soul to be able to make somebody feel for it. People want to identify with things that talk to them. Yeah. So I don't know. I think there's a lot you can do before we have to get to the fear of we've made the Terminator, we've made Skynet. It's aware. Oh no.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the guy says theoretically you could roughly need like 10 to the 27th like flops to be able to simulate consciousness, I guess. So like the best supercomputers on the planet right now are, like I said, they're petascale or petahertz computers pretty much, whereas to simulate consciousness you would need like something like 500 or like 1,000 yotahertz, which is, what would that be? Each step is 1,000 of the previous. So if you go from a petabyte to an exabyte or exascale, that would be 1,000, and then 1,000 of that, which is 1,000,000, and then that would be 1,000,000,000, and then above that would be 1,000,000,000,000. So you'd have to be about 1,000,000,000,000 more times powerful than the most powerful computers in the world, which, when it comes down to it,
So we're nowhere close.
Yes, so I really think a lot of people think, oh yeah, we're going to be able to do that in like 2030 or 2040, but I mean, based on from like 10 years ago to where we are, it seems like it's crazy, but as far as numbers wise, it doesn't really add up to being able to do that, even if you really did like double the processing speed every year. What are your thoughts, Ben?
I don't know. I think there's going to be ways to make stuff seem like it is without having to get that kind of power. I mean, eventually when we get to that kind of processing power that we have it to, to just splurge, just like anything else. If you're an artist and can be creative and make things stretch and make people, when you watch a movie, you're not actually watching, a thing moving, in front of you. You're watching a blank screen with light projected on it for, an hour and a half, 3 hours, and they wrap you into that world, and it's all based on how that, that creative thing is able to impress upon you. So, that was able to happen back when film was first invented and all that stuff. It's like, I think, with technology, it's a very similar thing that, right now, you know, right now we're seeing things that look very sophisticated, but they're still very simple. And eventually, we're going to have things that can confuse people. So, we're going to have like that movie Simone with Al Pacino.
Well, is it... A lot of people bring up the philosophical question of, well, if it can fool a human, does it mean it's intelligent? You know, artificially intelligent thing?
Well, you know, like, if a robot can think on its own, then technically is it slavery? That's an interesting question.
That's why I really think we're only just starting to see the beginnings of controversy and like problems that are just gonna pop up out of the woodwork as far as technology goes. You know.
Well, like, this is all philosophical, right?
Do they have rights?
Well, it's all philosophical now. Like, you know, when you get to, like, Star Trek and they have, like, the holographic doctor, and, like, does he have a soul? I don't know. It's like, well, he's got the mind of, like, 30 different doctors. I'm pretty sure, to some extent, you could consider him a being. So, I don't know. It's like, at that point, it's like, it's so far in the future, I don't know.
Yeah. And I really do think it's way off more into the future than a lot of people are saying, you know.
Well, I mean, you just have to, you know, there's just the fear that we're going to make a machine that'll have life or death control over the world, and then it'll just switch and go, hey, okay, you're all enemies now, just going to nuke you. I mean, that's the big concern with Skynet. It's not so much that it gains sentience, it's just that it decided everybody's the enemy now. Like War Games. War Games was in the 80s, and that kind of made sense. Somebody got in and played with the Switch, and now they thought it was the apocalypse. So.
Right. Well, I mean, if you made something that's transcended like the total, you know, like the total amount of intelligence that's on Earth, of, you know, like the collective human intelligence. If you have something that's smarter than that, would you really want to have it hooked up to all these weapons and bombs and stuff, you know?
I'd probably just unplug it.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I can understand the argument though that if you want to have something like that, wouldn't you rather have something that couldn't get hacked by some kid that's trying to get the latest, you know, video game, or trying to get a movie from a studio and he hacks in, and all of a sudden he's talking to the smartest computer in the world. Oh, hey, now it's gonna send nukes. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's like if you're trying to make that in like the first time it comes into existence, you definitely want it to be like contained in like a box, pretty much, you know.
Well, you've seen that Xbox Connect video parody where the guy's like, okay, so I hacked the Kinect and I gave it sentience, so and okay, now it might identify me as its a leader. Oh no, it's identifying me as an enemy. Okay, well it hopefully won't. Oh no, it's accessing the internet. Okay, it's got the nukes. Well, we're all gonna die now. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the problem too is I'm sure people would worry about is even if it's not connected to anything, it's just like a brain in a jar, pretty much. Like, if it's communicating to you, then people would be scared. Oh, yeah, it's psychologically, it's going to mess with you to where it'll make you want to put it on the internet and stuff. It'll pretty much trick you or whatever and play with your mind, sort of like HAL or like that movie Transcendence, you know.
Well, did you ever see Colossus, the Forbin Project?
No.
Well, it was a 70s movie where they kind of do the same thing like Skynet, but with 70s computers, so it just has like a terminal, and then it displays like a text crawl of like, you know, this or that, and they build a supercomputer and they set it up, but then it detects that there's another supercomputer in Russia, and then it wants to communicate with their supercomputer, and we're like, no, you can't do that. It's like, do it or I'll bomb you all. Okay, fine. And then it takes over the world. So, yeah. It's an interesting movie. It's a little slow because it's a 70s film and it's a little bit different than a modern film, but I like it. I heard there's been talk about like Will Smith might be doing a sequel. I don't know. A remake or something. I don't know. Then again, there's talk Will Smith's going to be doing every movie, so who knows?
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's an interesting topic, I think. I mean, there's a lot of it goes into like like a lot of people, like scientists and stuff, believe that there's consciousness. It needs to have interactions with like the quantum world, and like if you didn't have the quantum world, obviously you wouldn't be able to have consciousness or whatever. If you just had a brain, the brain itself doesn't give the consciousness. It's like the quantum world popping in and out or whatever, and interacting with particles. I'm not sure. It gets pretty heavy and deep and psychedelic at times. Where they're like, oh yeah, even though you die, then the like the information from your brain is transmitted into the quantum world, and then it's part of the universe and stuff. It gets pretty heavy.
I don't know, man.
What are your thoughts on all that stuff, Nate?
Well, like, if they could build a computer that process as many things as the human brain, I wonder how much power it would take. Like electricity?
Oh, yes. It would probably be above Doc Brown's gigawatts, that's for sure.
Who's gonna
Great
pay
Scott.
for that?
What was it? Great Scott, 1.2 gigawatts or whatever.
1.21 gigawatts.
Yeah, 1.1 gigawatts.
The hell is a gigawatt?
And again, if you're going to scale, kilowatt, megawatt, gigawatts, it would probably be along the same scale as, it would probably be Yoda watts, which is probably larger than the amount of energy that the sun needs, probably.
Well, I don't know. They could just hook it up to a human body at that point.
Possibly.
And you'll be like the Matrix. They want to turn you into this Duracell battery instead
Well,
of
that's been a typical parody of, the Matrix. They're like, well, technically, the heat the human body gives off and the amount of power it would take to put everybody's consciousness into a virtual reality is actually pretty inappropriate. Wouldn't it make more sense to? And then they kill the guy who questioned the whole system.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, that's it. I mean, that's today's Magnitude series. What do you think? Do you think it's interesting stuff?
I think it's interesting. I think people might draw a little bit more attention to the highs and lows rather than all the stuff in between, because it can kind of get a little confusing. So I don't know.
Right. Well, on the next episode, I'll probably talk about the hard drive space and how much does the Library of Congress, how much space that takes up. That might be a little bit more easy to understand. I don't know. Well, we'll try to test it out. What do you think? Just call it the Magnitude series.
That's what you want to do, man. Sounds good. Sounds good.
So you just call it Magnitude Computing.
Beep boop boop beep boop. And now is it time for me to? Is it time for me to beat your butt in trivia? Am I gonna take you to the ring, brother?
That's if you want. We're not even at 2 hours yet, so I mean it's up to you. Do you have anything else anybody has to say?
I'd like to say I'm gonna see you in the ring, brother. You better bring it. You better bring that sweet weed. That bit never gets old.
Sweet weed, brother. Well, it looks like Doug won't be joining us tonight, probably. I doubt he's even gonna slip in for the trivia, so.
Yeah, well, wouldn't it be great if, like, the show is over, we're saying our goodbyes, and he pops in just like you did during his show? Like, hey guys.
I knew that was coming.
hey guys, what's going on? How much did I miss? Oh, just, 100%.
Oh man, well everything looks destroyed on the world. Did I miss anything here?
Oh no, I slept too long. you remember that in Army of Darkness, where there's two endings to the Army of Darkness. There's the one where he gets back to his life working in S-Mart, and then there's another one where he slept too long and the world's destroyed. He's like, I slept too long, no.
Yeah, let's start off the trivia then.
Yeah, trivia with Ian. And Nate. And Ben.
Nate. Ready, Nate?
Yeah.
Cha!
Okay. What do we want to do? I like to do technology, but we already did that last week, I think, or the last episode.
Whatever you gents want to do, I will destroy you in all of them. For I'm Drago. I must break you.
Yeah, I don't have any general knowledge, so nope. We're hoping for that. What do you want to do?
Comics.
Oh, you want to do comic one? Ben's probably gonna kick your butt on that, man.
Just flexing a little bit. Showing off the guns. Somebody better call a vet because these pythons are sick. Oh, it begins, guys. Alright.
So this put the coat hangers away.
In what issue did Lex Luthor first appear? Superman number 10, Legion of Supervillains number 1, All-Star Comics number 8, Action Comics number 23.
Let's go first. I'll go first. I usually just go down the list. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go with Legion of Supervillains number 1. What do you say, Nate? Or Ben?
No, go ahead. You're calling a Nate now.
D.
Yeah, I'm gonna say D as well. And the answer,
Okay.
Action Comics number 23.
How do you guys know that? That's crazy.
Well, Superman premiered in Action Comics number 1, and I figured
One.
Lex Luthor was pretty close to an early bad guy, so. Alright, the Silver Age version of what hero first appeared in Showcase number 4, October 1956? Elongated Man, The Spectre, The Flash, or Green Arrow? Okay, I guess this is me then, right? What hero first? 1956. That's a tough one now. It could be. I think the Flash might have been before that, in like the 40s. Could be Elongated Man or the Spectre. 56. I'm gonna say Elongated Man.
I'm gonna say the Spectre. What are you going with, Nate?
The Spectre.
And the answer is the Flash.
Flash.
Ba-dum-ba-dum. So close, and yet. Robin was once turned into a vampire. True or false? What do you think, Nate?
True. I'd be surprised if he wasn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna say true as well.
I'm gonna go with the crowd. Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, wait until Ian puts his own score in there. Okay. What Marvel character first appeared in Journey into Mystery number 83, August 1962? Daredevil, Hulk, Thor, Captain Marvel.
Whose turn is it?
It's Ian's, I believe.
Is that why there's silence?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I didn't read a lot of comics. I'm gonna go with Captain Marvel.
Journey into Mystery.
I think Daredevil is newer. Isn't he than that? I don't know.
Not that much newer.
They're newer than the Hulk or Thor. Captain Marvel, those are like really old, I think.
I'm gonna say Hulk.
Hulk smash. What are you gonna go with, Nate?
I'll go with Captain Marvel.
Okay.
And the answer, Thor.
Thor.
This is why we need Doug on the show, so we can have somebody. And theoretically, it should be somebody guessing each one of these. So, all right.
Yeah.
The original Scorpio, criminal mastermind behind one version of the Zodiac, was originally the brother of which one of Marvel Comics' most omnipresent characters? Hawkeye the Archer, Steve Rogers, Nick Fury, Doctor Strange. This is me.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just gonna go with Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I think that was true because I remember he was like a magician and stuff. So that's
Well,
what
Well, it's like if he's the Scorpio and Zodiac, that all sounds like something in Doctor Strange's kind of universe. So yeah.
Yeah, well, Nick Fury, he was just a black guy. I mean,
Well, depends on what.
he had
Actually,
no superhuman powers or whatever, you know.
you don't think being a black guy is a superpower? Actually, in some iterations, he's white. I mean, he was played by David Hasselhoff
yeah, I was
in the
gonna
original. So.
He was just a guy, you know, sometimes black, sometimes white, I guess. He's just a mortal being.
Well, so is Batman, and yet, all right. And the answer, if we're all going with D, what's the answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nick Fury. Whoa! Man, this is a bad trivia night, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
What DC super team first joined forces in the Brave and the Bold number 54, July 1964? Teen Titans, Justice Society of America, Justice League of America, The Outsiders. I believe this is Nate's turn, right?
Yeah.
See?
What do you think, Ian?
Now, that would be the easiest answer, I would think, but I don't know. That's what year was it? I think Teen Titans. That's like a lot newer, isn't it? And that was like a cartoon, a recent cartoon. I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna go with C2.
I'm gonna go with A because I think I watched a video about the history of the Teen Titans once, and I think it was in the Brave and Bold, so I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
And the answer, Teen Titans. Teen Titans. Yeah.
Nice. Got that one.
Yes, I did. Because I'm a nerd. In what issue did Batman first appear? Detective Comics number 27, Action Comics number 5, Batman number 1, The Dark Knight number 1. And this is me.
No, I think this is me.
Then you do. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Nate said Justice.
Alright.
I'm gonna go with. I'm just gonna go with the Dark Knight number 1.
I'm going to go with Detective Comics number 27.
A, yeah.
And the answer, Detective Comics number 27. Alright.
Yeah, you could, yeah, both of you guys, why don't you, bring up some of that trivia on your dates, huh?
Now just tell them I won so much trivia on the internet, and they'll be like, man, you so hot. Alright, Gallon is the name. What was that?
It's like, oh yeah, I just filed my Detective Comics number 27. Or like, I just sold it.
Gallon is the name of the last survivor of the world known as Top. By what name is he better known in the world of Marvel Comics?
There's no multiple choice in this.
No, it's a fill in the blank, huh? And this is me. Marvel Comics, Gallon from the World Ta. The Last Survivor.
Actually, they don't give you any. Like, see how many words it is either.
They're known in the world of see, I don't know. I mean, I know Marvel from the movies, but I know a little bit more about DC because I watched Justice League for a while. But Marvel, I have no idea. I'll just take a shot in the dark. The Collector? I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to think myself. I'm gonna either go with, I say like the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, Silver Surfer.
Is that what you're going with?
Yep.
Okay then. Well, I was thinking either that or the Green Lantern, but that's DC Comics. So. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Silver Surfer myself.
All right, and the answer. Galactus.
Oh.
You're both wrong.
Close.
You were close.
Close.
See, I know the Silver Surfer and Galactus are together, but I didn't know. Oh well. Dick Grayson was officially adopted by Bruce Wayne as his son. True or false?
Hey.
Me?
Yeah.
False.
Well, now he had to be adopted because his dad was dead, so I'm gonna say true.
I'm gonna say true because otherwise, why would why would an orphan be able to hang out with him so much? But I mean, especially at least in the Golden Age, I just figure something like that had to happen. So yeah, true. The answer. True.
Yeah, true.
Alright. The Golden Age version of this hero debuted in All-American Comics number 16, July 1940. His Silver Age counterpart first appeared in Showcase number 22, October 1959. Who am I referring to? 2 words.
This is me. Damn, this is... All-American Comics. It didn't specify what.
Nope, didn't say which publisher.
I say Captain America. Screw it.
Yep.
Is that where you going, Nate?
Yeah.
I'll go with the crowd. Why rock the boat?
Okay.
And the
I got
answer.
my buzzer. Got my buzzer button ready.
Green Lantern! Oh man. Well,
Can we continue? Can we do the 10 more that's on here? Is that okay with you?
sure. Alright, General Comics. Alright. 3 DC heroes made their first appearance in More Fun Comics number 73, November 1941. Green Arrow and Speedy were 2 of them. Who was the other? Was it Plastic Man, Red Tornado, Aquaman, Elongated Man? This is me. Because you did the last one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's easy. So yeah, go ahead.
41, we had Green Arrow and Speedy. Is it Plastic Man or Elongated Man, maybe? Or Red Tornado? I know it's not Aquaman. Well, I mean, it very well could be, I guess.
Good.
I mean, what sense does it make to have 2 guys that shoot arrows and then a guy who talks to fish? I don't know. Well, I mean, it could be it could be 3 different stories for all I know as well.
Yeah, these are tough, man.
Well, I'm sure for people that are into comics, they're like, oh, obviously, you guys don't know anything. You guys are so wrong. What's up with you?
My mom wouldn't let me read comics when I was younger.
Well, the problem is these are... A lot of these are based on just, like, the number, like, the issue number and the date. You know, that... I mean, if it was, like, who is the son of this or whatever, you know, that'd be a different story, I guess.
If you ask me a little bit about the characters, I could probably tell you a few things, but, like, if you ask me to tell you the debut issue,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna say... Yes, I'm just gonna go with Aquaman, why not?
My original thing, since I'm gonna stick... I first thought of it, I was just gonna go with Plastic Man. How are you gonna go with Nate?
The Red Tornado.
Was there any reason for that?
No.
Okay.
And the answer. Aquaman!
Oh,
yes!
Got it.
A shot in the dark prevails for me! Yes.
With the help of your luck and what you did know, you are kicking ass, man.
And what issue did Sabretooth first appear? Iron Fist number 14, Wolverine number 3, Uncanny X-Men 115, Avengers Annual number 5. This is Nate's, I believe.
Yeah.
I'd say Wolverine 3. Although Uncanny X-Men came out before that, but like 115 sounds way too... I'll still stick with it even if it's wrong.
Okay, I'll just mix it up. Because Sabretooth was... He was the guy that was, you know, always fought against Wolverine. Especially in the movies, you know.
Well, that's his brother, isn't it?
Yeah, that's his brother, so... I'm just gonna go the opposite of Nate, but still sticking to X-Men, so I'm gonna do the Uncanny.
Well, see, that's the thing, is, like, a lot of Wolverine's backstory was amnesia for a long time, so I don't know when they would get to him. So I don't know. But Uncanny X-Men, I figured they'd be telling a lot of others, like, they'd probably get to him sooner than that. I'm gonna go with Wolverine number 3, because why not?
I mean, I have a comic where they're fighting each other.
Yeah. Alright, and the answer is Iron Fist number 14. I don't know it. The thing is, I don't know anything about Iron Fist, so I've heard it's a decent series. I don't know anything about it though. Alright.
Oh, yeah.
Vlarm was the magical word that changed a young boy into the hero known as the Champion. What was that young boy's real name? And this is this you again, Ian?
Yeah. I'm already trying. I was trying to think about it. He changed the young boy. It doesn't even help you with
Nope.
the Marvel or DC or whatever. Yeah, I'm trying to think of who just transformed him with the magical word. I don't know, man. I'm gonna say the... I was gonna say the Flash. Screw it.
The boy's real name was the Flash? Okay.
No, hold on. You're right. I should think of a name. I'm just gonna say... I'm gonna... The name. I'm just gonna say... I'm just gonna say... Why can't I think of this? I'm just gonna say... Peter, I guess, is the name.
Okay.
I'll go with Bobby because I don't know.
Well, see, I don't know this exact story. The only it reminds me a lot of Captain Marvel, where he says Kazam and then turns in from Billy Batson into something. So I'll just say Billy Batson because it's the only similar story I know. I know it's wrong, but it's better than guessing anything else. So the answer.
Dude, we get this man here. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
Well, it's Billy Batson or Batson. Yes, that's amazing.
You're gonna win this, but I'm glad I'm not the winner of that, man. That's crazy, dude. That's way out there.
Yeah, that's what happens when you just pull these guesses out of your butt. It's like sometimes they're the right one. You're like, how'd that happen? All right, what was the name of the circus that Dick Grayson's parents worked in? Barnum and Bailey, Haley Circus, Olsen Brothers Circus, Ringling Brothers.
My turn.
I think is it mine? Because I think Ian and then okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's either Haley or Olsen Brothers. I think I'm gonna go with Olsen Brothers.
I was gonna go with Haley. Gonna be your fate, Nate.
I'll go with C.
All right, and the answer, Haley Circus.
Haley.
Ian finally gets one.
Yeah, I get my peanuts.
Yay. Alright, what Marvel hero first showed up in a teaser panel in Incredible Hulk number 180 and then as a character in Incredible Hulk 181, October 1974? One word.
Yeah, and Nate gets to fill in the blank too.
This one's me.
Yeah.
Thor, I know that's wrong. Because we are the previous one, but
Marvel heroes that have one word for a name. Because I don't know anything about the Hulk, to be quite honest. Other than Planet Hulk, which was a pretty good little mini movie.
I like that movie.
I heard the comics a lot better. So, I mean, it's basically John Carter of Mars, just with the Hulk.
I like the newer animation of it, the remake, I guess.
Well, I mean, it's based on the comic, you know. So, I just think it worked because it's basically John Carter of Mars, but with the Hulk. Which, how can you go wrong? Smash! Romance!
Yeah.
Smash! Okay.
So are you going with the Thor? Hey.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with, even though it's wrong.
Well, I'm gonna. They did have a. I do have the Hulk versus Thor movie, and I also have Hulk versus Wolverine. I know they call him the Wolverine, but I'm just gonna assume they didn't count the word "the" in his title, so I'm just gonna say Wolverine.
Okay. A hero that fights the one word. I'm just gonna say Thor. I don't have any clue. I'm gonna just not rock the boat. So, and the answer, Ian. Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine.
Oh no, Ian's making a comeback. I think he's gonna take me out, guys. He didn't even buy me flowers. Wait, that's not the right thing at all. In what issue did Red Tornado first appear? Crisis on Infinite Earths number 2, Justice Society of America number 15, Justice League of America number 64, All-Star Comics number 58. Oh boy.
This is going first. I'm gonna say. You say All-Star Comics.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that too. It sounds like an early title.
Yep, that sounds good.
Alright. And the answer.
Don't try. That'd be too different.
Justice League of America number 64. I know he was on the Justice League, but I thought he was like a Golden Age character. All right. Bob Blake could transform himself into water and fought crime, regular heroic comics. What was his superhero code name? Aquaman, the Wizard of Water, the Submariner, Hydro-Man. This is me, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's got to be either the Wizard of Water or Hydro-Man, because Aquaman is obviously not that, and the Submariner is basically Aquaman too. Wizard of Water or Hydro-Man? I do remember there being a Hydro-Man. I just don't remember if he was a good guy or bad guy, but I'm going to go with Hydro-Man.
Well, from what I remember Hydro-Man being in the Spider-Man cartoons. I remember he was like a bad guy at first, and then he turned into like a good guy, I think. He was like in love with Mary Jane or whatever. Do you remember Hydro-Man, Nate?
Oh yeah, he was a supervillain in Spider-Man.
Yeah, but he like turned good or whatever, and
Didn't he clone Mary Jane or something?
yeah.
Well, then maybe it was the Wizard of Water, but I'm sticking with my answer because it's what I said first, and I don't want to be one of those guys. What do you say, Nate?
I'm still going with Hydro-Man too.
I'll go with it too because I don't care.
All right, well, this is interesting. And the answer, Hydro. How? That doesn't make any sense. We both realize he's a bad guy, but then again, you know, TV versions, they take the character and they give him a different arc. So I don't know.
I told you, he turned into like a good guy. Just like
Nate's
favorite movie where the Green Goblin turned into good or whatever with Terry.
I don't know, man. What silly Spider-Man villain was dressed up as a giant pig? Razorback, the Swine, the Warthog, Bacon Boy. Nate, this is yours, right?
Yeah, this is. I'm sure this one's pleasant for you, Ben. This is probably your favorite hero. This is Ben's super villain.
I'd probably go like C or D. I'll go with C. I'd like it to be D though.
What do you think, Ian?
I think I'm gonna go with Razorback. I want to go with Bacon Boy too, though. But
See,
I'm gonna go with her.
See, the thing is, like, if he's a silly villain, then Razorback or the Warthog, those sound like more serious bad guy names. But if you call him the Swine, like, I couldn't take a name like that seriously, so I'm gonna go with the Swine. I bet you it'd be bet you it's Razorback though, because that is a cooler name. I will give it that. And the answer, Razorback.
Razorback. So who? I went with that. What did Nate go with?
The Warthog.
Yeah, you don't get a point.
You can give me one. I don't care.
Oh man.
All right. I think it's who's turn than now. I think this is Nate's turn, isn't it?
What didn't he go first?
Oh, yeah, you went first, so yeah, it's me.
In addition to the Golden Age Flash and Johnny Thunder, what other DC character debuted in Flash Comics #1, January 1940? Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Star Spangled Kid, the Spectre.
I wonder if they ever did a crossover with Star Spangled Kid and Captain America.
Sure.
I'm just gonna go with the Spectre.
Golden Age, Flash, Johnny Thunder. I'm gonna go with either Hawkman or the Spectre. I Flash number 1, 1940. I'm gonna go with the Spectre as well.
I will go with C to be different.
You want to go with Star Spangled Kid?
Yeah, because it'd be hilarious if it's right.
I mean, what do you think, though? Do you think that would be a crazy crossover if they did that with Captain America? That'd be funny. I don't know. Yeah, Spectre sounds like an older name, too. Spectre.
And the answer... Hawkman. Aww. I should have gone with Hawkman. Alright.
You should have. That was your first one, probably, you were thinking about.
In what issue did Nova Richard Rider first appear? Amazing Spider-Man 171, New Warriors number 1, Iron Man 127, The Man Called Nova number 1. This is me, right? I have no idea at all. I'm just gonna go with Amazing Spider-Man 171.
I think I'm gonna go with Nova Alda. I think the music or Alda Nova. I mean, I'm gonna go with D. Because it doesn't even matter.
No, none of this matters. Just none of it. Nate, what are you going with?
What are you going with, Nate?
I'll go with C.
Okay, and the answer: The Man Called Nova number 1.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah, Alda Nova.
Congratulations, Ian. You're coming back around.
Well, not really, because you won. You got. Your score was 9. I had 7, and Nate didn't do so good at 4.
I couldn't read comics when I was a kid.
Yes!
You can
I am the best.
at least look at the pictures.
Yes.
Ben
Yes.
is the geeky winner of today.
Did you guys ever see that special about comic books narrated by that one guy from They Live? And, he was Goliath. And, what was it? Is it Keith David? I think might be his name. He was the voice of Spawn and stuff.
Yeah.
It was on, the History
Kinda
Channel a
like
long
they
time
were.
ago. And they had, Stan Lee on there and a bunch of other people. They're like, Batman and Robin, they had to deal with a bunch of people going, hey, you should spend more time with girls. What's going up? What's up with that? So, I don't know.
Yeah, no. The only thing I see about with Stanley is, on the History Channel or Science Channel or whatever, is that Stanley Superhumans, which I think is a good show.
So
You like it too, don't you, Nate?
is that still that show where he's trying to get people to pitch their hero? Because he was trying to do a show like that in the early 2000s. I don't know whatever happened to it.
No, it's the show about where they go
Actual
out and find people.
superhumans.
What?
They have abnormalities.
Well, kind of. It's pretty much about where they go out and try to find people that can perform superhuman feats, pretty much.
Oh, like me when I win at trivia. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Yeah, now try to go pick up a hot chick.
Hey, chicks are into comics nowadays, man. I could totally go up to a chick with a Green Lantern shirt. Hey, baby. How's it going?
You mean like that? You mean like that fake nerd, Olivia Munn, that just acted like a nerd?
Anyway. So. Sour grapes, Ian. Sour grapes. But yeah.
Grapes. No, I'm glad I didn't know. I don't know that much, man. It just shows that I was sort of normal.
You were the runner-up. Nate's more normal than you are right now. Because he didn't have comics when he was growing up.
All of mine, really, I mean, honestly, a couple of them, I probably had, some kind of subconscious, remembrance of for a couple of them, but most of them I just guessed. Like the Hydro Man, I was pretty sure about. I mean, I'll give you that one, but a couple others, man.
Spider-Man.
I like Spider-Man though. He was. I mean, I have posters, and I did watch some of the cartoons, so that's how I get most of my knowledge with the comic book characters. Is either the like the mainstream stuff like the movies or the cartoon shows back from the '90s.
Yeah, but it's not like you spend all your time reading. I mean, you're not a total geek, right? Anyway, well, I think that about wraps up this week's show then, because I am the winner.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank my co-host Ian and our good friend Nate for coming on the show. You both had a fun time, right?
Show, Nate.
Yeah, fun times.
We had a fun show.
Cool. That's what matters, man. I want everybody to come on the show to enjoy themselves, have some revelations, and then we realize that I am the best. So, I think this is the one ended on a good note. So,
you just want to slap us with your belt, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Title belt.
Yes. Yes. I am the champion. I am the greatest, my friends. Bow, now, now.
Well, me and Doug were talking, man. He said he might get some of his friends on to do like a title match or whatever,
Oh, maybe that's why he didn't show up. He's like, oh, I don't want to risk my belt. And
I don't want to risk my belt this week.
Yeah. Anyway, man. So I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in this week, and we'll see you all on the other side.
Peace.
To find out more, visit NoRightsProductions.com. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/NoRights. And hey, why don't you check out my Tumblr at NoRights.tumblr.com.